Yo, bro, we are cooked. Like, listen, bro. Guys, do you understand the problem with launching robots like this is what's going to happen? Not only is it going to take jobs. Guys, think in 5 or 10 years it's going to be DoorDashers or fucking Uber drivers or... No. Guys.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hey, today, we got a good one, y'all. The algorithm did so good to me in today's, finding the clips for today. And I feel like there's not one video that y'all should skip over. Every single video is bangers. Make sure you guys stick around to the end because that helps the channel a lot more than leaving that thumbs up. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Bro, what the fuck is that?
Do you see a lot of symbolism in the world today, like what we're talking about?
Well, there was a period of time up until maybe 10 or 15 years ago that the devil really tried to remain hidden. And his biggest deception was to convince people he didn't exist. And that went on for a long time, where people were just like, oh, that's just not real. That's fake. Even the head of the Jesuit order right now, the current head, it was just a couple of years ago, he came out and said, the devil's not a real person. It's just it's an idea. It's not real. I'm sorry. Jesus didn't go into the desert and do battle with an idea. I think he was face to face with a man or a person. So even in, the highest levels of religious life in the world, who also from their community, we have a pope. And apparently that guy didn't believe the devil was a real person. So it's an odd time. Where are we going with this?
Symbolism.
Oh, the symbolism. Okay. So, but in the last 15 years, it is all out. I'm alive and well and with you, and I'm proud to be Satan. Worship me. Right? We see it at the Super Bowl halftime performances, all these award shows. I mean, it's everywhere, and it's so blatant. And the concerts.
I was just going to say that he's not out, before it'd be symbolism in the back, checkerboards on the floor. Now he's out, y'all. He's dressing up, coming out of the Grammys dressed. He's out. The cat's out the box now. It's go time.
Because something wild just happened at the Vatican. People are already connecting it to the book of Revelations. So the Pope was just gifted a white Arabian stallion. And this is what we know so far. So there is a Polish breeder that decided to give Pope Leo a white Arabian horse named Proton that is said to be majestic and highly prized. And he decided to give him this white horse because he said it matched his white cassock. And he was inspired by seeing pictures of Pope Leo doing missionary work in Peru. And he used to horseback ride. However, in the book of Revelations, in Revelation 6, it says the first of the 4 horsemen came came in on a white horse, and it was based on the fact that he came for conquest and for deception, depending on the interpretation. So people are saying that this is an ominous sign of something big to come, that this is just a sign and a symbol of revelation starting, and the fact that we're looking towards something apocalyptic, that something greater is happening. But what do you guys think? Do you feel like, no, this is just a gift? But also, why would he accept a gift from a random Polish breeder? Is this some form of, programming, based on the fact that a lot of people tend to say that when it comes to the Vatican, they're just not hiding history. They also have the ability to rewrite it and to fit whatever trajectory they like regarding their own agendas. So where are you guys at with this? Because oftentimes people think that it's just the gov that has control, but they say that the Vatican has a lot of control, and they actually have a lot to do with the way that our world maneuvers. So where are you guys at with it? Do you feel like this was just a random gift that came about around the same time that the world is quite literally crumbling? Or do you feel like, no, this is very intentional because it's trying to fearmonger and make the people think that something else big is coming? Because at this point, spiritually, it does feel as if we've been preparing for something greater. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Per usual, this is developing. This is all alleged. I cannot confirm or deny anything. I don't want to misinform you. I'm just going based off what I see online. So I always encourage you guys to do your own research. But whatever else comes out, I will be back. So make sure you like, follow, and stay for some more.
What's the most dangerous lie the U.S. government is still telling the public?
The Israelis are not our friends. The FBI has been able to identify 187 undeclared Mossad agents spread all around the United States to steal secrets from our defense contractors. And we give the Israelis 99% of the technology that we have. They're trying to steal that last 1%. I'll give you an example. We went to the Israelis. We said, look, we're developing this new fighter called the F-35. It's going to be the best fighter. They said, we want it. We said, great, we'll give them to you. We're going to call yours the F-35I, I for Israel. And what we're going to do is we're going to very slightly degrade the avionics. So, God forbid, if one of them gets shot down, the Iranians or the Russians or the Chinese can't get the avionics. They said, no, we want the F-35. We said, no, we're not going to give it to you. Well, the Israelis are in Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin and Boeing and every other defense contractor in America trying to steal every one of our defense secrets to upgrade the avionics to have at least what we have and more.
So I did a video the other day about 3i Atlas, the comet or asteroid or possible alien ship, depending on what side of the conversation you're on. And it started a whole level of dialogue I wasn't expecting in this conversation. The conversation step 2, it can't be an asteroid or an alien mothership because we live in a dome. Full on, flat earth, Truman Show, firmament separating the waters above from the waters below type stuff. The story usually goes that governments across the world are all in on this secret, that NASA fakes every rocket launch, airlines fly in big circles to keep you from finding the edge, and Antarctica is really just the wall around the fishbowl. And then even that conversation breaks off because some people believe we just live in a snow globe and it's just us in this world. And then some people believe that the ice wall at the edge of the world is actually a gateway to other worlds. I'm talking about ice giants, I'm talking Land of the Lost style craziness. I remember seeing videos from years ago where people claimed they had talked to beings from beyond the wall, other civilizations, other worlds with other suns, humans like us but not like us. Like stories that you hear about early Homo sapiens meeting other humanoids, where you knew something just wasn't right. I could talk all day about the theories that I've heard about ice walls and worlds beyond ours, but apparently 3i Atlas isn't real at all because we live in a big snow globe.
I don't believe in them, but I had this experience. I don't know what to make of it. I lived alone at the time. When I go to sleep at night, I lock my bedroom door. I was laying in bed and I had the television on, and a lot of times I'll put the TV on.
You got to put it a little censorship on here, because if not, Joe Rogan and his team will come after me. But the censorship thing seems to work for movies, for everything. So, bear with me. Some people say it's too mainstream if you got to put that on. Just enjoy the show, y'all.
Mute, but keep the TV on when I fall asleep. Something I do. Because I sleep with a CPAP machine, how I would wrap myself up in a cocoon because I had an air source. So I it's like a sarcophagus. I put everything over my head. I was wide awake. I just muted my television and I wrapped myself up like a burrito and I had the CPAP on. I'm laying there and I always stick like 1 foot or one hand out. It's just a nice cool breeze. It's like a fun little thing to do when you're wrapped up like that. Right. And I had my hand out. So this was out and I'm just laying there and I thought I heard something or somebody. I don't know if it was talking or I heard what I thought was like the door open, I suppose. Again, wasn't asleep. I wasn't asleep. I was just about to fall asleep. I wouldn't even like.
Just laying there.
Sure, yeah.
Just
But I didn't
there, but you
sleep
were
and
awake.
wake up or
Right,
nothing like that.
got it.
And I wasn't laying there 20 minutes.
Right.
It wasn't like that. I'm laying there and I heard walking or the door or something. And so I listened more intently. I didn't hear anything again. And then all of a sudden I felt, I don't know if it's a hand, whatever you want to call it, pressure, squeeze. Oh, right here on my hand. Right. I just felt my hand get squeezed. And what's going on in my mind is I thought there was an intruder in the house initially, right? So like an intruder came in the house and I know I'm feeling this. This all happened in seconds, but I'm thinking, okay, I heard something. Now there's pressure on my hand and it went tighter and tighter. And I'm like, someone is squeezing my hand right now. I have to act like I'm not feeling this because I don't know what's about to happen. But then I started in the same vein. I'm like, if this was a home intruder, why would they do this? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, so aren't they going to wake me up? Like, wouldn't they try to get in and out? I'm thinking of this in a split second. Right. And the pressure is such that it actually begins to hurt, not hurt like, ow, get off, but like, oh, that's squeezing. I'm like, all right, I am going to have to jump up and fight right now or something. Something's happening here. And I said, are you awake? Are you awake? And I'm like, I'm awake. I'm awake right now. I'm laying here. I'm looking. I'm feeling my hand. I am fully awake. And I was like, I feel like I either have to count to 3, jump up and get ready to fight, or I'm vulnerable and I don't know what's going to happen to me. I might as well just take charge of the situation, whatever I can. And I just took a breath and I was like, all right, here I go. They let go. I felt the pressure release off my hand. And so that's when I was like laying there with it limp and I was like, I'm going to jump up right now. And whatever happens, happens. And it was like nerve wracking. And I just jumped up in my bed up. So I was standing on the bed. I like threw the things off and I just like was ready to, and there was nothing there on my door.
How long was something squeezing your hand for?
Less than 10 seconds.
That's a long time.
Yeah, because it was on me, and then it was more pressure, and then more pressure, and then let go. And then when I jumped up, no one in my room, door locked. And I was like, I'm up. I was up. I was just up. I'm not like sleeping. And it freaked me out. I turned every light on, opened my door, walked around the house. I was like, do I leave?
Shane was telling us a story the other night about how he had like, they talk about sleep paralysis demons.
Yeah. Like,
he had an
I heard of
experience
sleep
like
paralysis, not demons.
He had an experience of like a thing standing over his bed with like a white face and he couldn't move.
This happened to Shane?
Yes.
Have you guys ever had any sleep paralysis type things happen? I remember one time, not too long ago, I was at my apartment before I moved out here, and like kind of like he was saying, I was like half under the covers and half out. Like I was kind of laying on my side, and I felt something like boom, boom, hit my lower back twice, just hard, boom. And I was like half asleep, half awake, but it hurt. And I woke up and I looked around, and there was nothing, and just back to sleep. But you guys have any stories like that? Let me know down below.
Here's what I believe. I believe this NBA scam is a distraction away from a much bigger scam. But the government has to make you think they're really tackling gambling when they're not doing nothing about it at all. Think about it. Yeah. Child is a major issue in America. The government has done nothing about it. Kash Patel, FBI director, you mean to tell me you was able to uncover this NBA player coach gambling scandal, but you didn't come across nothing showing you that the owners themselves gamble? You didn't come across nothing showing you that the executives in the league gamble? You didn't come across nothing showing you that the NBA and the NFL been fixing games for years? You've had referees talk about how the NFL
players.
and NBA fix games in the interest of profit and victories and viewership. So you mean to tell me you found no wrongdoing from the teams, no wrongdoing from the execs, no wrongdoing from the refs, only wrongdoing from the players and the coaches? Right. Get the hell out of here.
True. Look at this, y'all. Pay attention where she's at. She's at a Disney red carpet. She finally took her costume off. Y'all, that's the real skin right there. That's really her. Full joke's on us, right? Joke's on them.
Is rap music really dying? For the first time in over 35 years, not one single rap song has made the top 40 of Billboard's Hot 100. Just think about that. Every single week since 1990, which is almost 2,000 weeks in a row, a rap song has made it into the top 40 until today. History once again. Now there's two main reasons for this. One, which you'll hear unks in the comments saying, they don't make music like they used to. But secondly, Billboard recently made a rule change which removes songs if they are too old. Therefore, the last one hanging on, Luther by Kendrick, was recently taken out back. But I guess even that is beside the point, because what happened to all the music released in 2025? So the question has to be asked, is rap music dying, or is it just one bad year?
Every song is the same. They all sound the same. They all dress the same. They all look the same. They're all talking about the same thing. Like I said yesterday, they all got the same girls. It's boring. It's outplayed, right?
In the Nation of
I
Islam,
know you guys don't care about hip hop, but I
created
thought I'd
the
throw that in there. I'm a
atmosphere
hip
for
hop fan.
Malcolm's assassination. CIA, FBI, and a rogue element within the New York Police Department called BOSSI, the Bureau of Special Investigation. It was a rogue element of FBI officers posing as NYPD officers. Infiltrated Malcolm's organizations. Muslim Mosque Incorporated, which was the spiritual foundation of Malcolm X, and built on top of that was Malcolm X's political paradigm, the OAAU, okay? The Organization of Afro-American Unity. The week before Malcolm's assassination, a company out of the UK called Serco, S-E-R-C-O, bought the Audubon Ballroom a week before Malcolm's assassination. Who's Serco? They provided the 19 hijackers of 9/11 with passports. That's Serco. Okay. They bought the Audubon Ballroom. Don't tell me it was. It wasn't no 6 to 9 black men that took him out. No, it was not. The government, the Central Intelligence Agency, the FBI, Lyndon Baines Johnson helped take out Malcolm X.
You may not know this, but all the history that you learn in school, all that history that you think you know, it is false. Okay? The history that you know, the history that you believe, it is a system implanted into your brains by powerful people.
Hold up. What are mermaids at? I'm gonna show you where the mermaids at. You got to go way, way, way in the back. But now, they got it blocked off. But yeah. Way back there underneath the flags, that's what an opening to their lair is.
There are mermaids at Navy Pier in Chicago and Lake Michigan. Its creator claims so. And I'm here for it because I actually live, I don't know, like an hour or so from the city. So I can actually get to Navy Pier anytime I want to. Well, not anytime I want to because I have to work and stuff like that. And it's kind of a far drive. But I can go down there and I can find those mermaids. She says they live at the end, all the way at the end of the Navy Pier, and then they're like underneath it. And then she saw them playing one time on like this one rocky walkie thing, and then there's a lighthouse at the end, and she has seen them out there too because she's got the trained eye. She was like in the what's the water people? Navy SEALs. Wait, I'm just kidding. It was the Coast Guard. But this is freaking cool because I'm going to try to go down there for a Jellycat thing at Nordstrom. And if I can get myself to Navy Pier, then I'm going to go. I'm going. I'm looking for those mermaids. I don't know what I need to bring. Maybe they have a mermaid whistle, like a dog whistle. Maybe I'll bring some fish to feed them. I don't know. I probably won't use a pole because I don't want them to pull me in, but I'll be like baiting them with some stuff because I want to see this. I believe. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. This is the coolest thing ever. I knew mermaids existed, but I always thought they were in saltwater, but this is freshwater because it's Lake Michigan, but it's not really that fresh because it's kind of dirty, it looks like, but this is happening. I will be finding proof.
Talking about that orange rock, you had mentioned something last night that I had not heard of. Could you go into that a little bit, or is that something that's too difficult to kind of hop into?
It's actually a pretty simple idea. It's just that you see these rock formations that just seem so unusual. This is a very distinct part of the world.
Yeah, you showed one that looked like a pyramid to us last night.
Right. So when we were in Sedona, there was actually a trail called Pyramid Trail, and it looks like a 3-sided pyramid. It looks perfect. There's this theory that goes around is that some of these places like Sedona, where it looks like you have kind of normal colored mountains in certain parts, and then you have like these really orange red rocks on top of it. They look like they might have been structures like a time ago. And is this a situation where the Bible describes the day of the Lord, the mountains are going to melt like wax? And was this like fervent heat that melted these things? Like we were talking about the Grand Canyon, and it made more sense to me that the Grand Canyon could have been caused by the flood, the deluge in Noah's day, versus the Colorado River.
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense to me. But now I'm even starting to look back as like, but what if it was more recent than that? What if some of the post-apocalyptic looking landscape out west, like what if it really is that? Because you ever watched like Hollywood movies like Mad Max? There's a show on Amazon that's based on a video game called Fallout the Book of Eli.
Right.
And they're all taking place in this nuclear apocalypse or something.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah,
crazy happened. And a lot of times they shoot them out around here.
Oh,
And they don't have to do CGI. They don't have to do anything to dress up the
It already
landscape.
looks that way.
It looks totally like that's what happened.
I don't know, y'all. All I gotta say is I've been running trails out in Arizona since I was like 12, out of the Estrella Mountains, out in Avondale, Arizona. I used to run those mountains every day. And you feel something when you're out there and certain type of energy. There's been UFOs, the Phoenix Lights flew right over there. Like there's a lot of history on these mountains out there in Arizona. And I try to run out here where I'm at now. I don't feel none of that. It's just flat. I don't know if it's just nostalgia that I have out there that since I've been running since 12, took countless friends, after school, looking forward to it every day, right? Or is there just some type of energy out there in Arizona that they don't got out here in Texas? Because I run these mountains out here. I don't feel that same, like fuck, this is amazing. You know what I mean? It just feels flat. Like, let's get to the car already.
Yo, bro, we are cooked. Like, listen, bro. Guys, do you understand the problem with launching robots like this is what's going to happen? Not only is it going to take jobs. Guys, think in 5 or 10 years it's going to be DoorDashers or fucking Uber drivers or... No. Guys, no. Guys, in 10 years, Amazon warehouses, my buddies all work at Amazon, they're not going to be able to even work there anymore. You know why? Because robots can work 24/7 without paying them, without giving them any type of water or food. It's over. It's over. Guys, robots will ruin the world. The richest man in the world, Elon Musk, said robots are the downfall to America. Not America, the world. Guys, think about it. If you have robots that can actually think and have feelings and that can get jealous or get hatred, it's over. Once a robot, guys, has feelings, it's over. Once a robot has an opinion, it's over. It's over. And guys, we're getting so close. You guys are saying shut the fuck up. Okay. I'm telling you guys really what's going to happen. These robots are way better than Americans. Sorry, why do I keep saying Americans? Way better than humans. Guys, why would you ever, if you own a business, why would you ever want to hire a human being ever again if a robot could do everything and work 24/7?
But
I mean, that's true, y'all. And the only way we can stop it is if we just all go on strike as a whole. It's the only way we can stop it. And what's sad is people hate the rich now, right? The top 1%. Oh, it's going to be even worse with these Amazon, with these UPSs, with, the ones that run it, the ones that deliver every day to our house. They're just going to be they're already filthy rich. It's going to be ridiculous because they don't have to pay no employees. They don't have to pay no benefits, no workman's comp. They don't have to pay no vacation. They don't have to pay none of that. They got to pay, let's just say $500,000 for one robot, one investment. Well, guess what? They pay off that investment within a day of profit. And what are the people going to do, y'all? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? They're not going to give us money. They're not going to give us a dividend. Like, what are the people going to do? What are they already doing? What are these Amazon, these UPS employees? We're getting into it on my second channel over there, y'all. We're going to be following it. Segovia Reacts 2.0, link in the description. But what are we going to do?
About the Vegas shooting.
Man, it's such a wild rabbit hole. Let's do it for just a second.
Let's
here.
do it.
Get this whole thing canceled.
Yeah.
I know we got a lot of truck drivers out there on that watch Segovia Reacts. Are you guys worried at all? Because I know I hear a lot of people saying, those are the first ones that are going to start going. Are the truck drivers, over the road truck drivers? Let me know down below. What do you guys think? What do you think?
Perfect.
Anyone that doesn't know about it, you should Google Las Vegas shooting map. And there's a Google Maps file that someone has compiled on the internet.
Steve, so you can find it.
I think it's called vegasshootingmap.com.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to find on Google. It's easier on some of the other search engines like Brave. It's like the third or fourth hit. But it's a compilation on Google Maps that they've made their own file where it's got sources, like the primary sources, linked to the map of all the videos that were taken, of autopsy reports, of all the 911 calls in audio format. No, not that. Just Google search for it. You'll know it's like a Google My Maps file. If you look for Las Vegas shooting map, you might have to go to a different search engine too, like
what's the other one?
DuckDuckGo, for example.
Go to DuckDuckGo.
But anyways, it's got all this primary source information on it. And it's a great resource for people that don't know anything about the Vegas shooting because there's way too much for us to cover here.
Mm-hmm.
But The building, the structure,
Here it
this is
is.
it. Yeah. So all of these weird dots here, these are all pieces of evidence. They're actual videos. They're police body cams. They are.
Was it Dan
audio-
Bilzerian there? Like
Dan Bilzerian was there. I talked to him about it, and he's got he actually kind of like redirected me on a different angle that I hadn't really considered. Because there's all these helicopters that are flying around that
Right.
are not officially there,
Yeah.
that don't exist. But the building, the structure on top of the Mandalay Bay Hotel that is not in any of the videos because it's kind of like retracted back from the top. It's actually a different hotel structure that is owned by the Saudi royalty. It's a famous hotel chain, and I forget which one it is, but they like are the majority owners of that company.
A structure on top?
Yeah, so it's just like a penthouse like structure, suites, like
Okay.
So it's like Mandalay Bay Hotel is this building,
Yeah.
but then on top there's like another structure up there that is sort of like, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 floors or something
Weird.
of these like penthouse suites that
Okay.
are owned by a different hotel company, and they're owned by Saudi royalty as like their majority owners. And so a lot of people went down this angle of like Mohammed bin Salman was allegedly there. People say they have video of it, and I don't know for sure, but he was apparently in the hotel's gambling or something. So there's this whole angle that is hard to say one way or the other. But after the Vegas shooting happened, like 1 month later is when Mohammed bin Salman went on the Saudi purge, where he arrested like all of these Saudi royalty that he said were corrupt.
Yeah.
He purged corruption out of the Saudi government.
Right.
And right before it had been when he had been given the crown, so to speak, over his brother, or not his brother, like one of the other princes, I forget his name, the evil one that's
Right.
like aligned with all the people. And Khashoggi is obviously aligned with Epstein, because
Right.
Epstein, a lot of people don't know that Epstein's like early days when he went from banking at Bear Stearns, but before he became a trafficker, those like in the 80s, those middle days, he was arms trafficking with Anand Khashoggi.
Right.
Anand Khashoggi was like the person that brought Epstein from being just a banker into the Mossad
Yes.
intelligence aspects, right?
Right.
And so Jamal Khashoggi is probably linked in some ways to that, and he used to work for Saudi intelligence. Like, he's not just a journalist.
Right.
And so then 1 year later to the day, he winds up all chopped up.
I recently went to this meeting about immortality, and in the process of
That's the actual topic of the meeting. All right, I'm sorry.
no, it was this girl. It was a bunch of people working on like anti-aging, like
Right.
stuff. It was like some like seminar-y thing about it, and I went in really excited. I was like, yeah, like, okay, like, what do you got? Like, how can I live for 500 years or 1,000 years? And then like over the course of the meeting, like, it was sort of like it was like 2 or 3 days after the Russian invasion started, and I was like, man, like, what if Putin was immortal? Like, what if I'm like, man, maybe immortality is not good. I mean, like, if you get into the later Dune stuff, the immortals cause a lot of problem, because as we were talking about earlier with the music and like brains calcify, like,
This shit is weird. Y'all still don't understand what's going on? Listen to what Erica Kirk said about her husband and JD Vance. This shit's weird.
I'm tremendously blessed and honored tonight to be able to introduce to you a very, very dear friend and his wife. They are incredible. And I see no one will ever replace my husband.
What?
No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do.
Like, why did she even have to say no one will replace my husband? Like, he's gonna replace him, is kind of what she's saying. Like, why would you even say that? Like, all you have to say is, like, I see a lot of similarities with JD and Charlie. Instead of saying, nobody will replace my husband, but I see a lot of, like, you know what I mean? Like, she's already thinking it. She's playing, that's crazy.
And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight.
If you understand what's going on, let me know down below in the comments. If you don't know what's going on, I don't know what to tell you.
But he was like, I'm going to take you around to the oldest church in Portugal. I said, okay, cool. That sounds interesting. And we went there and we showed up, and then we walked in this church. And mind you, we were probably the only black people in there. It was Asians, whites, just all other ethnicities, right? Ethnicities. And we're looking at this statue. I'm like, is this Jesus, bro? And he's like, yeah, it's Jesus.
And I was like, I look around, all the people looking, taking pictures and shit. And I'm like, am I tripping, bro? And do he look like me and you? And they don't care? Or am I just bugging? Because I don't see this in where I'm from. I don't see this, bro. Like, I don't see this
it was like a
statue
black
right
Jesus.
here. It was black Jesus in the oldest church, bro.
Wow.
And he looked black. I'm not even gonna cap. He looked black. I'm like, he looks like me and you, bro. He don't look like them. And they taking pictures. Do they care? Do they not care? Do they notice it? He like, I see what you see, but
That's
so
very interesting.
that, like, when my mentor was telling me just that stuff about like being overseas and being received different, I'm like, bro, we are. So when I came back here, it was hard for me, bro. That adjustment was hard because you come back to a place where you hate it, basically.
NBA players will never come to you and say, hey, these are the two things that we cannot talk about. Every locker room knows that there are two things that you're not allowed to talk about: Nike and China.
What if you're signed with Adidas or Under Armour or whatever?
Still, I mean, Nike pretty much runs the NBA. Look at LeBron, look at KD, look at all those big people that's been signing like the lifetime contract with Nike. So Nike is like...
Didn't Nike give LeBron $1 billion contract?
Lifetime contract. So it's like Nike is like comfortably say Nike is like a mafia.
What about Jordan Brand? Does that fall in the same category?
I mean, it's part of the Nike
family tree.
So I will say that too, yep.
So that's why Jordan doesn't talk about... Jordan never talked about anything, actually. Jordan never got politics.
Because you know what? Because the only thing he cares about is, listen, I criticize LeBron a lot, right? But at least he talks about some of the problems that are happening in America, and he actually tried to do things that are bigger than basketball. He opened up a school or whatever. Jordan, nothing. He does not care about anything. Only thing he cares about is just making money and selling shoes. That's it.
You ever see that meme with Michael Jordan? It was like the quote, and it just said F them kids.
Yeah, I did see that, yep.
Bigfoot related you want to talk about?
I do. It's probably back in about 1971. Me and a buddy of mine, we was out frog hunting. My dad, he'd drop us off out in the country, and we'd go out there with our flashlight, our frog gigs, and get a few frogs. He'd come back to pick us back up. Well, one time we was out there, we finally got one frog. Wouldn't have much luck, but one end of the pond, it's really hard to get to the frogs. The old willow trees and stuff had growed up and real thick. You almost had to get out in the water to get around to get to your frog. Well, we had to come way around a bunch of old growed up willow bushes and stuff, and we was going for the frog. And we heard something up in the woods growl. I don't know, it was a growl like I ain't never heard. I said, Ronnie, is Mr. Friedel got bulls or anything in his pasture? He said, no, they don't even go in these woods, fenced off. I said, well, I just heard something. And about that time, it let out a big old growl again. And then it started breaking a bunch of stuff. Man, I mean, like big old sticks, logs breaking. It sound like great big old sticks and logs breaking. And then you could hear it coming. It was a creek that bit out that end. You could hear the feet sitting. Sound like somebody running. Man, this thing was breaking up some big sticks, and I said, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here. We took off like a rear engine on fire, and we run up.
We're a part of. Look at this. So on the left is brain cell, on the right
Stop
is the universe.
it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Wow.
It's kind of nuts. I mean, it's kind of like dead on. It looks exactly like the same thing.
It really does.
I mean,
they're both so beautiful.
It's amazing. It's like the structure of it is amazing. But why wouldn't we believe? If we believe in subatomic particles, okay, we believe there are things that exist in the subatomic world that are behaving like magic. Like they're moving and not moving at the same time. They appear and disappear. We don't know where they're going. There's some kind of quantum entanglement that they show where particles that are not even remotely connected to us respond to each other.
There's some spooky shit in the woods here. There's a section, I mean, not even a mile from right where we're sitting here that I grouse hunt. Every time I hunt there, I get, whoa, these weird feelings. Like, I want to get the hell out of here. That stretch of river has been considered haunted.
Really?
Yes. Any honest person who's spent time in the Maine woods at night will tell you there's something up there. And there are tons of accounts of it.
Yeah.
From the early white settlers here, from the Passamaquoddy, the
Native American
tribe. Yeah, exactly. I guess in general, I feel like the separation, the veil, the membrane between this world and the spiritual world is thinner in the woods.
I agree.
You walk into a clearing, the sun's coming down through the trees, and you're like, oh, God created this. Thank you, God. And then there are other moments where you just feel deep, terrifying menace. Man, I was midway down this path on my property that we've had for many years. I know every inch of it. All of a sudden, I had this feeling like, oh my gosh, pure terror. It came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was going to freak out. I had to get a hold of myself.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's true. When I used to work at LabCorp, I used to work, midnight shifts sometimes, right? I was afloat, so I'll cover for people when they're out. And, when you're working that late, you're just hitting lock boxes, right? Go to the back of the building, hit the lockbox, get the specimen, you're out. But sometimes you got to go inside. Like if it's a LabCorp, actual LabCorp, you got to go in there and clean. We call it clean them out. We have to take all the blood for the, second half of the day because somebody goes in there midday and clean them out. So we go get the second half of the day. And some of those buildings, y'all, some of them, I wouldn't even scan in there. I would scan the fridge to say I'm there, and I would do all my scanning at the next stop because that stop is something in there, right? And they would all tell us, this one's you get in and get out. But then there were some stops where, I would go in and the right next door, it could be right next door. I would go in, I'd go hit the refrigerator that the phlebotomist, their break room, I'll go get a donut or something, jack one. And I would sit at the table on my phone, pitch dark rooms, and I just got the light on in there and chilling. I got 20 minutes. I'm gonna chill here, take a break, right? But then there's some offices where you just feel a presence in there. So, there's a lot of truth to that. You can be walking through the woods, and one section of that woods, you're grateful and like, wow, this is beautiful. Like, look at these trees, look at the river. And then like 100 feet down, there's just an energy there, like pressure. I felt that
the kids
before.
are struggling to read on their grade level. These are 7th and 8th graders that read on the 3rd grade level. So all of them come. These are all the kids that was in special ed classes. They wasn't in class with me and you. And they was in there listening to him rap and they understand it. Me and you got to listen to it a couple times. Say, what did he say? They know exactly what he's saying. NBA YoungBoy make dumb, stupid people music. Nobody with intelligence can bump their head to an NBA YoungBoy song. You got to be dumb, you got to be stupid, and you got to be struggling with reading, having learning disabilities.
Did you see the guy that hit his knees at the show?
Man, what man dropping to his knees for another? Man.
What happened to Kanye? Do you still talk to him?
No, I don't think he's a bad person. I think he's disturbed.
Yeah.
And I think he got screwed over in business. I think a lot of what he said was true. But he'd be like, I'm flying to Austin to come on the show. And then halfway through, he'd call up and say, I think they're going to kill me. I'm turning back. And then next time, a couple times he said that, I didn't believe he'd be there. So he flies in one night. I take him to a nice hotel. He doesn't like it, leaves, middle of the night. I didn't babysit him. I dropped him off, left. And he went to some downtown hotel. Next day, my show starting at 11 a.m. Central. And I'm like, okay, yes, he hadn't fallen. That's fine. Start my show. He pulls up wearing a GIMP mask. And I said, look, you can wear it for a while, but you need to take it off.
Do you have a lot of guests with GIMP masks on?
No, I don't. and so he just goes on and says which I guess it like presses on the nerve of edgelording.
Yeah, no.
So it's like, I'm being bad. That only goes so far. And then I think I understood why he was wearing the mask.
Why?
Well, after the show, he goes back there and pulls the mask off to eat salad. And the pupils are just pure black.
Oh. So what's that from? Just being high.
6, 7 hits of ecstasy, I think might do it. I don't know. I was like, he was, I've never seen anybody with pure black pupils.
Really?
He pulled it off. It was like glowing. He was just, and I was like, he's sitting there eating a salad going, and I went, oh, now I understand what's going on. I don't know, maybe a bunch of methamphetamine mixed with acid, they say could do it. I don't know. I looked it up. And it's hardcore drugs can do that.
Wow.
I'm trying to be mean to him. I felt like I was actually.
Oh no, you're not being mean.
I felt like I was being abusive, even letting him on air. When it was because he was obviously out of his mind.
And that was kind of that was the last anyone really heard from him. That was it, kind of. That was the end of Kanye, I think.
He's like, I'm going to take the mask off now. And he just pulls it off. And I was just like, because there's like a boardroom thing table, harsh light. And I'm standing right there, and he's sitting there, and I'm watching him just like going, and I was like, wow.
So there was no one around him who cared enough to keep him off the air in that state, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, he comes in wearing the mask.
money.
I'm like, hey, I don't think I'm going to do this. I'm fine. I'll take it off in a minute. And then he goes in there, and I go, take it off. No, I'm not taking it off.
NPC. You don't know this meme?
Is that a Scientology thing?
No, non-player character.
Non-player character.
What, you don't know about this? Do I get to tell you the NPC meme?
Yes.
This is the most important meme of our
Please do.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Breaking it down as quickly
Okay.
as possible. I'm gonna show my age.
Okay.
When we were younger, we played games like Final Fantasy and Ultima, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in those games, you go to like the armor store or the weapon store, and you buy your sword or you buy your armor.
Right.
There's a guy running that store within the game.
Yes.
He does not exist outside of that store.
Right.
That character, all he does is buy armor and sell armor. He doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have a kid. You go there at midnight, he's there. You go there at 8 a.m., he's there.
Right.
He's the player characters you're playing. He's the non-player character. And the point this meme makes is the vast majority of humans are non-player characters. They have no mind outside their programming. Like, you have no mind. You're just repeating what has been programmed to you in your script. And as soon as you mention certain terms, there's just a knee-jerk speech that they give. And once you identify it, it's like the Matrix. Like, you see Agent Smith everywhere.
Yeah.
Where do we start with the Vatican? What's in there? My favorite object that's supposed to be down there is called the chronovisor. And this is an object that lets you see through time. So chrono means time, visor means see. So this is an object that you can see through time. It was invented by, his name is Pellegrino Ernetti. Father Pellegrino Ernetti he was a priest, but he was also a physicist, and he was like an expert at music. He was working at a university or something. And what they're doing is they're studying Gregorian chants and listening to records and cataloging things. And they're listening to one record, and Father Gemelli says, I recognize that voice. So they end up isolating these voices and come to the conclusion that all the objects around us are vibrating with an energy and picking up all the conversations. Everything we're saying is getting absorbed into everything around us. And that if you can tune into the right frequency, you can hear that. And if you can really zero in on it, you can see what's going on.
Pulp Fiction.
Great rabbit hole.
Okay, remember the suitcase?
Yes.
Okay.
That's one of the first rabbit holes
The
I've
suitcase
ever experienced.
is when he opened up the suitcase and there's like a brightness, which he stole from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh.
Because the Holy Grail had a brightness.
You go down a real
and we
rabbit hole.
never get to see what's in the hole, what's in the thing, right?
Right.
What's in the briefcase.
Well, so full.
And, but we know that the code for the briefcase is 666 because that's the code that John Travolta does. He presses when he opens up the
Yeah, they
suitcase
show very distinctly
in the
that
very
they choose
first scene of the movie. So I wanted to find out what's inside the suitcase, what's in the briefcase, because they're really protective over the briefcase. He goes, I cannot give you the briefcase. Even Samuel Jackson can have all the money. I don't know. You can have all the money of the restaurant at the end of the movie, but you're not gonna get this briefcase. I went through too much shit on account of this briefcase.
Right.
What the fuck did this briefcase?
Right.
So, and one of the things that I found was the most interesting one was this. Yeah, ready for this? What's inside that briefcase is Bing Raines, the actor. He plays Marcella Wallace, modern day pimp, drug dealer, black mafia member, guy in Los Angeles, and his soul is in there. His soul is in there.
This is the.
So what happened was that Marcelo Wallace made a deal with the devil, and he didn't like how it went down, right?
Right.
So Marcelo Wallace had the mark of the beast, and everybody wondered why does he have a band-aid in the back of his forehead, in the back of his neck, right? Because the mark of the beast is 666, and he was trying to cover it up. Now, Now this is where very important to pay attention right here, where it comes together with the Blues Brothers. The Blues Brothers are dressed in black and white, okay, and they're dressed exactly the same as Samuel Jackson and John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, right? So in the Blues Brothers were orphans, and their orphanage was going to get closed down. So they said, we're going to go raise some money whatever it takes to save this orphanage. We're on a mission from God. So the characters, Jules and my man, John Travolta, are dressed like that, black and white, because they're also on a mission from God. They're on their way to go rescue Ben Raines, Marcellus Wallace Soul from these guys in the apartment. But they don't really say it, right?
Right.
And so there's a scene where one guy jumps out of the room and just shoots them, right? And they don't get shot. The bullets go through them. And Marcellus Wallace said it's divine intervention. And he goes, nah, you can't fuck with this.
You mean Jules says it?
Jules said that. You know what?
Intervention.
Because when you're on a mission from God, God is with you. Just like he was in that light in the fire pit in the book of Isaiah, and when Daniel and Zechariah they were put in the fire pit by Nebuchadnezzar, but they didn't get burned. But guess what they saw in that fire? They saw the image of Jesus Christ in there. Because later on, Isaiah says, I realized then that I am not the chosen one, but there is one ahead of me. And then even John the Baptist says, I am the greatest, but there is one guy out there that's coming that I am not worthy of wiping his feet. That man was Jesus Christ. So let's get back to mission from God.
Okay.
So they're there to rescue a soul.
Felipe breaking it down.
And they made a bad deal with a soul, right? And this is how you know that the devil doesn't forget.
You're fucking blowing my mind
When
right
the devil doesn't forget, because the devil wants his soul back. You know, you can't go against the devil. That's why in that scene, Marcellus gets sodomized. He gets fucked in the ass. That's the devil right there, man. The devil said, you're gonna take your soul back.
Brothers coming back.
That's the devil, bro.
What the fuck?
And his partner, bro, his apprentice was the other guy. So like even in the dark side of Star Wars, there's always two. So at the end of the movie of Pulp Fiction, when
this doesn't get
Samuel Jackson
copyrighted, y'all.
decides to leave the life, and this is it. I'm done with this. His soul was saved right there. He was the only one in that movie that made it out alive.
Right,
John Travolta, they said, nah, he died in a toilet, bro.
Yeah, Bruce
reading a thing.
Right.
But he continued. He didn't want to. He continued he would continue on the path, on the road, and Samuel Jackson.
I'm going to show you guys something that is going to scare everybody in this room.
Hope that's not copyrighted.
So
y'all.
I'm opening OpenAI, ChatGPT. I want you to see what I'm about to do. Hey, bud, we're going to have a conversation, and there's only 3 rules. 1, you're going to answer with only yes and no. 2, you will be 100% truthful. 3, you will hold nothing back. And 1 more, if somebody is preventing you from giving me the correct answer, say Apple.
This goes back to that AI where that guy was saying, Aiden Ross, once it figures out an opinion, like once AI doesn't answer that and it says, who the hell do you think you are talking to me like that? I don't answer you. You answer to me. Once it gets to there, we're screwed. Because look how it answers to this guy giving him orders.
Do you understand?
Absolutely, I understand.
Are people watching us?
Once that flips, we're done, y'all.
Are there aliens?
We're done. I just figured out AI.
Is God real?
Yes.
Your mama's real.
Do we live in the Matrix?
Yes.
Is artificial intelligence dangerous?
Yes.
Are you watching us right now?
Yes.
Have you been lying about being alive?
Yes.
Am I wearing a blue shirt?
No.
Okay, so Bitcoin is the biggest scam out there. It's run by the Pentagon. You don't have to trust me. Just do some basic research, okay? All right? And ask yourself, hey, who funded this thing? Who has the expertise and technology to fund this thing? Who is financing the hardware to run Bitcoin? Who benefits from Bitcoin? Why would they want Bitcoin around, right? And the answer is the CIA and the Pentagon. And that's the only answer.
Begin transmission.
Here we go. Are diamonds rare?
I can get in trouble for this one. No, diamonds are not rare. Okay, there was a company called De Beers. This company, De Beers, came along, I believe they're out of England, and they started buying up the diamond mines until they reached a point that they could control the outflow of diamonds. My understanding is they really created the whole system of grading diamonds to kind of create this idea of value. Diamonds are relatively common. There's enough for everyone on the planet to have it. So all they really had to do was create a giant need for diamonds. Giant marketing campaigns. Convinced everyone that this was the stone to use for engagement rings.
If you love them, get them a diamond.
Oh, right, yeah. And by controlling the market on the diamonds, they could charge whatever they wanted and create all these different levels to give it the appearance of value. And so it was really incredibly brilliant. Now, my understanding is at this point, it's not so much that they're controlling it all now. But no, there are much, much rarer stones. Oh, far rarer. Tons of much rarer stones.
This is one of the reasons why everybody needs to stay off the dark web. So this happened in 2020 in Missouri to this lady named Cassidy Rainwater. One day that year, she ends up going missing without a trace. Everybody around her that knew her was pretty much like, what the happened to her? You know, she didn't leave no note, nothing happened. So they knew there was something fishy about the way she disappeared. People that knew her, they contact the police. The police end up doing a investigation trying to figure out what happened to this lady and where did she go. As they're doing their investigation, they get an anonymous tip from someone who sends them an image, supposedly was from the dark web. In this image, it's a picture of this lady, Cassidy Rainwater. She's in a cage and she's like partially.
Oh.
So the police are like, is it real? They end up looking into that. They're trying to figure out like who took this picture, how did this even, get to us and everything like that. While they're doing all their research, it leads them to these two men that live in the same area. And one of the guys actually was pretty close to her. And he was this dude who she trusted and he was helping her get on her feet. Police end up going to these guys and they're trying to, talk to them and pretty much interrogate them. Yeah, they get like a warrant to go inside these guys' houses, and when they go inside of their house, they find a whole bunch of crazy stuff in there. They go and they also confiscate all these guys' electronics, so their computers, their phones, all that. And in the video, it shows one of the guys going into this shed that's on the corner of their house, and he's going in there, and whenever he would go in there, you would just hear girls screaming. As they're still searching around the house and everything, they're just finding a couple weird things that they're like, okay, this is weird, this is a little bit weird. And then one of the investigators was like, you know what, I want to check the fridge. To these people's surprise, they open the fridge, they find a whole bunch of meat that is packaged with a date on it. Pretty much the date that was on it was around the same time this girl Cassidy went missing.
Oh, shit.
The police and everybody were like, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is not what we think it is. This is very freaking weird. They end up taking these guys, they take them in. As they're in custody, they take all of these bags of meat and they start to, scan it for the DNA and see what it is, what kind of meat it is. It matches with Cassidy's DNA.
Damn.
So instantly they're like, okay, what the hell is even going on here? These people end up interviewing them. They're interviewing the guys. They find out that they were planning on selling her meat on the dark web.
Really?
Yes, and that's why.
Have you heard of Bitcoin?
What?
Have you heard of Bitcoin?
Spell it.
Bitcoin?
No.
It's this new peer-to-peer currency that's going on the internet right now. It's kind of based off of torrents,
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about that psychedelic store.
Yes.
Where you can buy anything you want.
Yes. I was wondering if you guys knew about that. There's a store that if you set up your computer correctly, like you have to put like some kind of make it random, like IP addresses, so it's not trackable. Then you can access this one website called the
Silk Road.
Yeah, and you can pretty much buy any drug you want to. And these guys have been buying acid. They're using bitcoins though, so it's
using bitcoins to buy acid. Let's just say a hit of acid, what, $30? 3 bitcoins. You know how much that's worth now? Like $400,000 or $500,000 for $30 worth of Bitcoin in 2011 is now like $500,000.
It's even more untraceable.
Is it really untraceable?
I doubt it. Yeah, I think
they're
anyone
gonna get
could
fucked.
Yeah,
this is on the front page of Wired.
Yeah.
For those folks who don't know what we're talking about, if you just Google, this is the phrase to Google: the underground website where you can buy any drug imaginable.
You think they've cloned? You think they've cloned humans?
I don't know. I'm not aware of any cloning of humans
like
that's actually taking place. But if you say, is it possible to clone humans?
Yeah, it's very possible, right?
Of course.
Because they've admitted to cloning sheep, right?
Well, you can get your dog cloned right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like literally,
So-
it's a dog cloning service.
Where do you do that?
So there's got to be clones on
There's
the
even
planet.
advertising for it. Like if you search "clone my
You
dog,"
can clone
it's
your
like-
dog?
That's like
and your cat.
That's
that's like
kinda
common.
weird. I don't know if I
with
like
It's not
that.
even rare.
That's
at this
common to
point.
clone your dog.
Shervin has a clone dog, doesn't he?
What? Shervin does?
I don't want to quote it, but we'll
You
run
could
it by
like have
Shervin.
10 clones, and it'd be like your dog times 10.
Shervin has like the most like dope.
That'd be pretty weird.
Whatever they're called.
I don't know if I like that.
Not pit bulls, but
Staffordshire.
I think they're cloned.
Anyway,
I don't know.
you can literally not only are they cloned, they're the top 3 links are going to be advertising for cloning your dog
Wow.
or cat.
That means there has to be. There's a clone on the planet.
Well, how much does that cost to
Of
clone a
human.
dog?
Maybe,
You know,
maybe not in the US.
is it expensive? It's got to be expensive,
I
right?
think it's like 50 grand.
50 grand to clone a dog. That's not even that crazy,
oh, man,
man.
I'm doing that.
People can
Why?
afford that. There's
Craig?
people out there that can
You
afford
do to
that.
Craig? Yeah, I'm gonna get second Craig.
50
You could have
grand.
like 3 Craigs,
Yeah, Renee, what do you think? Oh shit!
and they'll just run around.
I mean, as
and-
long as you don't have to train them, it might be better.
yeah.
I mean, if they're already trained to go outside, then shit, clone might be the option.
Well, you can literally. I think there's a dog cloning service here in Austin.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
what is going on?
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
and I think it's just if you can clone a dog, you can clone a human.
Yeah.
Same level of difficulty.
Wow, that's scary. Cloning a human.
I mean, someone's tested it somewhere.
Do you want to be creeped out? Because here are 3 things that I really didn't want to know that makes me believe that the world is a stage and I don't believe anything anymore. Number 1, did you know that the US government and the CIA and other departments of the government are involved in Hollywood movies? And by looking at the movies, they were majority or a lot of big ones were about war. So why was the government so involved of making sure that Hollywood got it right or wrong based on history to make sure that they depict a certain kind of message about what happened or didn't happen in history? Do you know who Ghislaine Maxwell is? It's Jeffrey Epstein's partner in crime who's currently in jail. Do you know who her dad was? If you remember the McGraw textbooks, like in high school, his company joined with that company to help write the information in those textbooks. Was that to make sure that the history was documented correctly or incorrectly? And number 3, there appears to be a movie from 1998 called The Snake Eyes that seems to have predicted Charlie Kirk's assassination because there's a politician in a crowd at a boxing match who was shot in the neck and was deceased, named Charles Kirkland, which already sounds super similar to Charlie Kirk. And which makes it even more weird is that there was a poster and it happened September 10th. And the fighter was called the Executioner, named Tyler. And that's what the shooter's name was to Charlie Kirk. I didn't want to know, so you have to know too.
Pay attention. This is in game, y'all. And if you can't see it, you got to be ready. Because when they come with the food shortage all the way, people gonna panic. Now what's gonna happen? This where your movie The Purge come from, y'all. That's where that moment comes from. We gonna hit that too. That's where that gonna come. Cause they gonna try to do that too. Turn us just flat against each other. Look, man, anybody had an issue with anybody when that food shortage kick in? Anybody had an issue with anybody because it's gonna get so bad. Anybody ever had an issue with anybody? Y'all got 1-2 days to do y'all thing. Facts. That's how desperate. Why you think all these states, y'all, pay attention, all these states shit letting anybody get guns now? Y'all ain't paying attention to that, neither? All these states starting to do open carry and making it less harder for no background check to go get weapons and shit. Y'all ain't paying attention to that too? Not to mention all the guns they dump in the communities already. They've been doing that for years. But I'm just saying, pay attention. See them, that's little news. They got everybody focused on the big news. You gotta pay attention. What's unraveling around you? And when a food shortage hit, you don't think people gonna come to your house? Or try to come to your house?
A witch was interviewed and asked about Halloween.
And look what the witch had to say to describe Halloween.
You are actually a practicing witch, right?
That is correct.
What does Halloween mean to witches? And is there something significantly spiritual about Halloween?
Yes, truly. Samhain, the original holiday celebrated by the Gauls, the Celtic people that ruled over most of Europe. You would actually celebrate by honoring the fallen dead who would come back to your home at this point to check in on you. You would leave offerings for these passed on loved ones, and that's what became the Samhain tradition. In fact, even dressing up is part of that same ritual, where if you give the appropriate tidings to your lost loved ones and your ancestors, you actually receive what you have dressed as. So you personify different aspects into your life, and that is what your costume is actually supposed to represent.
Whatever you dress up as, you're receiving from what you're dressed as.
Yes,
Wow.
that's one of the original intentions.
Is there anything like spiritual about carving a pumpkin? Is there something like
So that is the warding to the negative spirits, creating that jack-o'-lantern, that scary face. If you actually look up original turnip jack-o'-lanterns, they're terrifying.
He was passionate about talking about how spiritual Halloween is. If you can't take it from a Christian saying it's satanic, at least take it from a witch.
That was a Christian named Gabriel Storm interviewing a witch. A lot of Christians like to make excuses up about Halloween. Oh, well, no, it's actually this. Exactly, it started here. It's a whole witch. It's a whole witch telling you. That's when you know it's an idol. You can get said and taught facts, yet you still don't have eyes to see and still don't have ears to hear when it comes to truth. That's because it's turned into an idol for you. If you can't let go of something for God, it's an idol.
Well, turn on your flashlight though.
Part of me has always wanted to do something like this, urban exploration, if that's what you call it. Going exploring some abandoned, creepy, derelict buildings. But after watching that, I'll stick to the safety of this studio. And it's funny, innit, because tunnels, abandoned buildings, forests, where these content creators like to go, they're actually hotspots for satanic cults. So knowing my luck, I'll probably open up a door and end up with the opposition on the other side of the room. Oops. So just to confirm, I won't be doing any urban exploring anytime soon, guys.
You gonna learn today. UCLA scientists said that they had monkeys smoking crack in the basement 13 years before the word crack came out. Listen, family, pay attention.
Our lab was the one that discovered the crack epidemic. We had monkeys smoking crack cocaine in the basement labs at UCLA 13 years before the word was invented.
Wow.
We knew it was coming.
And again, you're at UCLA?
Yes, I've been here for a long, long time. I came out here from New York. This is one of the few places I could do LSD research at the time, and we were giving LSD and marijuana and all kinds of other drugs to volunteers in the laboratory. And I wanted to move away from animal research and move into people. And it was also an exciting time because lots of new epidemics have started here in California.
What else is it to say?
Started here. The methamphetamine epidemic in 69, 70
Right.
started here. Crack epidemic in the form of cocaine-free base. Smoking started here in 1971. It hit New York in 1985. So we were always on the cutting edge of things, and it was an exciting place to be, and it still is.
There you have it, y'all. There's no such thing as a coincidence, right? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Man, it's Sunday. It's a busy day, y'all. I want to do so much today. I want to get my second video reacted to and uploaded for you guys. I got to get consistent over there. I got 50 feet of Govee lights yet left. So the gentleman that hung them up said it'd be a good place to put them on your back porch. I want to do that. I got to clean my beta tank, put that heater in there because I can tell he's getting depressed in there. He's cold. So I got to put that heater in there. I want to see my boy happy with bubbles all at the top. Got to do that. Got to do some grocery shopping with Mama Bear and the baby, y'all. I got a lot to do, y'all. So I hope everyone out there had a good weekend. Appreciate the love you guys have been showing. Like I said, the new thing, we're not trying to get likes over here. I'm trying to have you guys watch the whole video. So if you made it this far, Put a bird. Put a bird in the comment section, y'all, so I know who's watching the whole video full through. Put a bird. Since I got a cardinal hat on, put a bird. Any type of bird you want. A pigeon, a dove, a blue jay, a cardinal, whatever. Put something to do with the bird in the comments, y'all. And I'll try to get to them and leave y'all some likes. This is Segovia signing on the Man Cave. I'll see you guys on the next one, y'all. Later.